Hi everyone, it's Amy from Making Space. I've got another creative activity for you all to try at home today. It's a Tuesday, which means today's activity is inspired by our Young Designers course, which we would normally be running on a Tuesday evening. And today I've decided to do a challenge for you that's inspired by styling. It's another kind of area of the fashion industry. Most of the challenges I've done so far have been inspired by design. We did one last week which was inspired by trend prediction, but today it's all about styling. And the activity is really simple and it's quite fun, but it gets you to really start thinking about garments and clothes that you would put together to create a look. So we're going to be creating something like this. And obviously on this example, I've just chosen the humble black leggings as our kind of wardrobe essential, our wardrobe staple, something we've all got in the back of the wardrobe. And the purpose of the activity is to show different ways that you can wear that wardrobe staple to completely reinvent the look. So, you know, from teaming it with a pair of boots and a little shirt is going to be a very different look to teaming it with a sarong and a pair of slip-on shoes and some big sunnies. So it's trying to get you to think like a stylist, to think of what you would put together with a certain garment to change the look of it as well. And you can really do this in any way you want to. You can create it quite realistic and try and get the proportions to all really match up. Or you can kind of have some fun with it like I've done on here and play about with kind of oversized, accessories and things like that. And don't worry too much about it matching up. And that's kind of the route I'm going to do today. So we've got this lovely example here, but I'm going to talk you through another one so I can show you the whole process. So let's move that to one side and I'll go through what we need. So you're going to need our templates, and I'll link these online as I always do. Then you're going to want some magazines that you can rip out, some plain white paper, a pencil, a black outline pen, Pritt stick and a pair of scissors. So super simple with your materials that you need as well. So let's clear all these to the side and we can get started. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to think about what essential item you're going to choose. Now black leggings is a great one, so if you want to do that, go with that. Other things you could choose a plain white t-shirt, which is what I'm going to do. You could do a little black dress. You could just do a simple jacket. It's completely up to you what you choose, but try and think of something that everybody's got in their cupboard. Jean shorts, a pair of jeans, a simple black skirt, kind of things that we've all got, one variation of or another. So as I said, I've done leggings, so I'm going to do a simple white t-shirt. Then you're going to want to grab some old-fashioned magazines and you're going to want to go through and just rip out some pages of things that you think could go well with a plain white t-shirt. Now, make sure it's a magazine that you are allowed to rip up as well. And try and get a selection of things. Now, you're going to want to think a little bit about scale. Obviously, with this one here, it doesn't matter if they're slightly different sizes, but you don't want, if your body's this big, you don't want a top that's this small. So you need to think a little bit about the size. Now, obviously, if you haven't got access to magazines, look online. You can kind of do screenshots from shops and things like that as well. But get a selection of images that you think work. And I've already ripped some out as well. And then we can start playing about with what might work with our plain white t-shirt. So let's see which one I'm going to go with first. This is my favourite one. So this is a look that's pretty much all together because it's sort of a big oversized kind of jacket with a high-waisted skirt and kind of trainers at the bottom there. And I really like this look. And all I'm going to change is I'm going to change it so it's a plain white t-shirt underneath as well. So now we have to cut these designs out. Now it's up to you how much of your design you draw and how much of it you use from the magazines and the items you're putting together, a bit like a collage. And that's kind of up to you to decide how much you want to do. I think it's nice if you illustrate all the faces. I just think that looks quite cool. So that's what we're going to do here. So you can see I'm basically cutting all the clothes out, except where I want to put my t-shirt in. And obviously I've had to kind of slightly go with it here because her hair comes down onto the top, but where it's quite a dark one, you're not going to really see it, so I think that's fine. And really try and, when you're choosing your the pieces of clothing that you're going to team your essential with, really think about trying to make different looks. So if you've got one look that's very relaxed and casual, maybe with the next one try and make it so it's a bit more maybe dressed up. That kind of really shows variety, and if we're trying to show off different ways that you can style a garment, you know, people are going to want to see, oh, okay, so I can do it like that, or I can make it look really dressed up, or I could really dress it down as well. That's something quite nice to consider when you're doing your sort of styling of it. Now, I've decided to cut the legs off, but what I'll do is I quite like these trainers with them, so we'll just reuse them. So I'll just cut them out. And what you want to do is you want to create a little pile of things that all go together for your different outfits. And like I said, if you don't want to do shoes, you don't have to. You can kind of keep them on there. It's, like I said, completely up to you. You can either draw them on or you can collage them in. So that's one cut out. Let's get the second one cut out. Now obviously as well, once you get your garments and your poses, they're not going to be exactly the same as your template. So we're going to kind of slightly have to freestyle that as well, but I will talk you all through that when we get there. And you can see I'm cutting these out only kind of roughly, I'm not being too precise. So that's my first look that I'm going to style with my plain white t-shirt. Let's pop it over the top here. So we've got one look there, so I can put that to one side. Now let's go through the bits that I've ripped out and try and find something else. Now I quite like this jacket, which is actually a male jacket, but it's a kind of a trench coat, so you know it's going to work for male and female. So I'm going to cut that out. And I'm just going to fill in the gap in between the middle bit where, as we'll cut that out in a bit. And this is where, on this example, you'll see how we make it up from different pieces as well. Because this is obviously a coat, we need the rest of the outfit as well. Okay, I'm going to unfortunately cut his head off. Let's get that out of the way. I always like to, when I'm working, just try and keep the bits that I'm not using off to one side, keep them out of the way. And, you know, keep the bits that I am going to use or can use for something else together as well. It just helps keep your workstation a bit tidier. So I keep coming off of the bit that you can see. Okay, so we've got a trench coat there. We obviously need something, so it's going to have a plain white t-shirt underneath. And I really like these trousers, but because they kind of cut off, I'm going to see what it looks like if I cut them into shorts as well. And that's the other thing you can do. You can manipulate the garments that you see in the magazines to make them what you want them to be. So if it's a really, say if it's a maxi dress but you want it to be a mini dress, you can just cut it shorter. So this is you using a bit of your skills as a designer as well. Okay. And then because we're going to make them shorts, I'm going to kind of cut them off to there. And also because I'm doing this, it means that I can cut round where the writing is as well. So there you go, so I'll just even those up now. And what we might do as well is just make them a little bit smaller so that it feels like they match up with the size of the trench coat we've got as well. Okay, so we've got one look there. We've got two look of our trench coat, short shorts, little look. And we're going to need some shoes with that as well, so I'll see if I can, there we go. Let's some, oh no, we might use that for something else. Let's see what else we've got in here that we could use. Ah, there we go, that's quite cool. So on this one here, this one's got some really cool silver boots. So we'll steal them. And again, you know, they're not the perfect sizes. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to roughly cut them out. So you can see so far I'm creating two very different looks that you could wear with a plain white sort of knotted up t-shirt. Cut those boots out quickly. And obviously once you've done this once, it's an activity you can keep coming back to. You know, if you've done leggings, then try a t-shirt, then try just a plain little dress as well. You know, you could really get into doing all the accessories and things like that as well. So you can really, it's an activity that you can really build on as well, especially if you're trying to put together a bit of portfolio. These are the kind of nice things just to have in there, just to show you're thinking about different designs and things like that as well. Okay, so we've got two looks there. What we'll do is we'll try and do one third look. So I'll go back through the stuff that I've ripped out, see what jumps out to me. What have we got under there? That's quite cool. Well, let's do this one here because this has got trousers on. So let's just cut her trousers out and we'll team that up. It's going to be an all white look with kind of black accessories. So we've got three quite different looks. Now I'm just going to do 3 on this page, but again, depending on what template you use and what size pictures you rip out of magazines, you could, you know, get 4 on a page like I've done with my first example, or you could just do, you know, 5, you could do 6 if you use the smaller templates as well, so it's completely up to you. But it's nice to show a variety on one page, I think, rather than just doing one design. Okay, nearly there. Okay, so we've got our 3 looks that are all going to be worn with a plain white t-shirt. So now it's time for me to sketch in the body part as well. So let's move these out of the way. And I'll show you some of the other things I pulled out, which I think would work. You know, I've got this lovely skirt, sheer sort of skirt over tights, which I thought would work. A kind of tracksuit bottoms that I thought would work well. A load of really nice skirts that I thought would work really well. Love this coat, but obviously you're not going to see the t-shirt underneath it. Really simple kind of skirt and stiletto look as well. So lots of different ideas there as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop down some plain white paper first. This just helps, if you've got a dark desk like I have, it just helps you see the template through the paper a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that to one side, and then I'm going to put another white bit of paper on the top. And like I said, we're going to try and get 3 out of these. Now, we only really need the legs for 2 of them. So you can see there, can you see through? I think you can just about see through. And then what we're going to do is obviously we're going to place these over the top. So that'll go there, shorts there. Boots are kind of down here. They're slightly small, these boots, but I think that's quite funny. And let's just shuffle that up a teeny bit so we can make sure our head's on. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to grab your pencil then and just sketch in really quickly the parts of the body that you're going to see. So on here, it's really only the legs going into the boots. And these legs are ridiculously long on this model, like so, because we've got her kind of arms already there. And then what we need to do is we actually need to draw the garment as well. So I'm just going to sketch this on quickly first. And I'm going to do mine so it's sort of knotted up. And obviously you're not going to be able to see all of this because it's going to be covered over, but you'll see most of it. So what I'll do is I'll start drawing that outline in pen, and then we'll put things back on. So And just for demonstration purposes, because I do mine really quick, I'm just going to keep the faces and things like that really simple on mine. But do, obviously with your one, take your time. You can put a lot more care and attention into yours than I am mine. Okay, and I think that's all we're going to see of the t-shirt. Oh, let me pull that down. It's off your vision there. There you go, that's better. And just sketching these legs as well. Okay. Right, and then once we've got your outline kind of on, grab your glue stick and start putting the clothes over the top. So we're going with the shorts first. And they're going to sit about there. Quite a lot of midriff on show with this one. And then work the coat kind of over the top as well. And obviously things, like I said, aren't going to match up perfectly. Don't let that put you off. You can always trim things down afterwards if you want to as well. So like these little bits up around the neck here, what I'll probably do is just snip that down to make that fit a bit better. Actually that side's okay. And we need to get our boots on. So a bit of glue on there. And stick them on. Like so. Again, let's just pop that back on top of our mannequin template. Because I think on here you would just see a slight bit of that, and you'd definitely see a belly button at that kind of. And what you can do as well, you know, where this would be the inside of the jacket, just add some shading in there as well. Okay, so that's my first look that you can see that we're wearing with our knotted up plain white tee. And then let's do the other looks. Now I'm going to slightly overlap these as well so I can fit 3 on here as well. So I'm going to do exactly the same again. Let's check you can see at that time. Okay, so we're going to draw our face on. I'm going to move this in a little bit closer still. And with this one, obviously, because this look has got our trousers, so she's a bit further back because the legs are shorter, that's fine. That's probably going to go about there, I think. So obviously we're going to see a different part of this this model than we were of the other one. And you know, do feel free to change the silhouettes, the outlines as well. If they're not exactly how you want them, you know, change it up a little bit. I've changed both the arms on mine because they're not quite where I wanted them to be. They're just there as a kind of a guide for you. Okay, right, let's get that drawn on then. So we've got our face. Simple plain knotted tee. I think I'm going to do little rolled up sleeves on it as well. And this is a chance just to, you know, have some fun. It's not, you know, a serious activity. You're just exploring and playing around with different you know, looks that you can create. That's the joy of this activity as well. And then we'll put our legs on like so. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck that behind there because where she's smaller she's more likely to be further away, and then just draw in a bit of body that you would see in there. Okay, so that's our second look done. Let's make sure our boots are all sat down. And then our third look. So again, I'm going to move my mannequin over And this one's probably going to be more in the foreground again. And we've got our whole look like so. And let's move up a bit. Our trainers will go down the bottom. So let's get that to kind of fit. And then use our pencil to sketch it in again. So this one's, she's on a slight twist in this design. And that's fine. So we're just going to alter our illustration accordingly. Now what we could do, in fact what I will do, I'll show you. Because it's a bit wide, I'm going to just make it a bit thinner. Just so it fits on our design better. So I'm just going to cut that one down like that. So that's going to go that side. And then what I'm going to do is just cut off that section of the skirt. And that enables me to move that so I can make the look smaller than it actually was, which works better with the sort of size of the sort of templates that I've got underneath. Okay, but everything else is the same. That's all you're really going to see of the t-shirt. And then we've just got to get her shoes on here. And again, because the shoes are sideways, it's just going to look a little bit more like they're facing that way. Oh, let's get that other shoe on. Okay, looks good to me, so let's move her out of the way. Go over it in pen, let's move that out of the way. And you can see sometimes how little of your essential garment you actually need to sketch in. You know, that's all you're going to see of this one is this, basically the neckline and the tiny bit of sort of knotted up t-shirt at the bottom there. That's it. Okay, let's move that clear. Get this nice and clear. Don't lose my little trainers at the bottom there. Okay, and then put the look together. Just move it around. The nice thing about Pritt Stick is you've got a little bit of time to kind of wiggle things. It doesn't set straight away. And find the other side of my jacket, which nearly ended up in the bin pile. And let's get that other little bit on. So that goes like that. So that comes up like that. Down like that. And let's put our trainers on. Bit so you can see. There you go. And then what I'm going to do is then just fill in just a little bit here. And it's quite a neat little trick to kind of fill in the gaps and give a bit of shape around the body. And there you have it. So you can see how simple the activity is. It didn't take me very long at all. But I've shown you 3 completely different ways to style a knotted up plain white t-shirt here. And you can add that on here as well, you know. You know, and you can make yours much more fancy than I have as well. But a really nice activity to really start thinking about what you can put with certain garments to create a look as well. And that's what stylists do. They create a look normally based around a particular garment. So that's the one we've created today. And that was the first one that we had, which was all around black leggings. So that's the activity. Do have a go at it. I'll pop a list of other staples, wardrobe staples on the blog post. So if you're not sure, that should give you some ideas of where you can start. But it's a really fun activity, something a bit different from just designing. It's really getting to think about putting different looks together and how they kind of work. But Really fun, nice, simple, and you can do lots of different things with it. So I hope you enjoyed the activity. I hope you have a go. And if you do, please do share your results with us. We'd love to create an online gallery featuring loads of artwork that's been made. And we'd love to include your attempts at this one. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Take care then. Bye.